policy shift that we have already kind of discussed that takes place around the middle of his rule was the sabiqa or the diwan system that he puts into place, which prioritizes stipends to those who converted earlier in the deen. Okay, this was different, by the way, to the policy of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Both of them are rooted in revelation. And it's going to come up again, especially when we look at what happens during the time of Uthman, where, again, the precedent is the precedent. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the backdrop to this is that when the conquest of Islam began to bring massive wealth into Medina, so now you have ghanaim, all these spoils, and also fate, the non-combative spoils that they've acquired from across the kind of like expanding Muslim lands. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq views this obviously as wealth, but he sees it as a kind of like divine trust that has to be shared equally amongst those who sacrificed for Islam. And he kind of reasons that, look, all the Sahaba were united in faith and in struggle. None could truly assess like who was superior in virtue, which says something, by the way. Therefore, he basically says, يعني كيف أفرق بينهم والله قد جعلهم أمة واحدة. And how am I going to differentiate between them? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made them one community. So Abu Bakr, on the basis of this, distributes this wealth equally, because he sees it kind of like as like equality itself is a sense of justice. So here it's like, you know, each person is getting the same thing. When Umar assumes the caliphate, he revisits this policy. And he says, in essence, equal distribution is not always equitable. Okay? Like justice is to give each what each deserves. And he argued basically like, how can I give those who fought in the battle of Badr, okay, the same as those who accepted Islam at the conquest of Mecca? I mean, in fact, something's wrong here, okay? They're not equal in the sacrifice that they've made. And it's quite clear that that's the case. So he institutes basically like this tiered system of stipends, okay? And it's recorded in the registers, Dawaween, which is oftentimes why it's called like the Diwan Umar. So those at the top of the list receive the largest share of the stipend, and then those who convert later receive kind of proportionally less in relationship to it. So he categorizes them, and he categorizes them basically like the first are the Ummahat al-Mu'mineen. So the wives of the prophets, the wives of the Prophet ﷺ receive the highest stipends. And then the early Muhajirun, and then the Ansar of, you know, the two pledges of Aqaba, Bai'at al-Aqaba, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah. Notably, by the way, like Umar himself sees, I mean, he fell into like the middle tier. So he wasn't like of like the first two. He insisted that those before him obviously have to have more. Once, by the way, during the distribution, Abdullah ibn Umar, his son, okay, received, I believe it's 3,000 dinars. And Osama bin Zayd got 4,000. So Abdullah was kind of like puzzled. He goes to Umar and he says like, why did Osama get 4,000 and I got 3,000? Like he got more than me. I've served just as much as he did. And, you know, did his father do more than you did? And so Umar replies to him, إِنَّ أَبَاهُ كَانَ أَحَبَّ إِلَى رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مِنْ أَبِيكَ. His father was more beloved to the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم than your father. وهو كان أحب إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم منك. Like without even, you know, and he was more beloved to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم than you were. And Abdullah just kind of like remained silent, you know. Just, Meshi. Okay. This is real justice in action, you see. And who is Abdullah ibn Umar at this time? He's the son of the Khalifa of the Muslims. You see what I'm saying? And it's not like he doesn't actually have like a justifiable argument to make. Like, look, I've sacrificed a lot. And he has. He's Abdullah ibn Umar. Okay? Just the fact that his father is Umar and what like Umar put his family through, like that in and of itself is like sufficient. You see? But they also recognize that like, look, yani, a ruler giving his own son less than another man because prophetic love and sacrifice deserved precedence over lineage is something that we should all learn from. Okay, that's my point.